wait your turn because I have another movie. So thanks to Allied Global Marketing, we got a sneak peek of Civil War, which is, you guys, when I saw the trailer for this, I think it was another movie that we were able to get a sneak peek of as well. And I saw the trailer for this and immediately I was like, dang, that looks really good.
I only saw the poster
good.
where all those people are hunkered up in the Statue of Liberty's torch, and I was like, "What the hell?" And
what the hell's going on?
I'm interested to see how this plays out because I definitely want to talk about the timing of this movie at the end. So.
It happens so often now that it's not really a thing. But do you remember like back in the 90s during the summer, whenever like there was only like 4 or 5 movies and they were like event movies.
Yeah. This summer. Yeah. Like it was the thing.
Yeah. It feels like Civil War would be like one of those movies. Like,
absolutely.
Oh, this is the
like
movie
the Mission Impossibles that
Yeah.
came out every year and the Fast and the Furiouses, and you're like, whoa. And then, Was it good?
It was amazing. So for anyone who's not familiar, it is, first of all, it's star-studded too. So Kirsten Dunst really hasn't been in anything in a long time. She is absolutely incredible. She plays a war journalist she's a photographer. And then there's also Jesse Plemons is in it. There's just so many amazing people.
Dude,
like
Jesse Plemons is like that actor too.
He's
like,
great.
Where like if he pops up in a movie, it's like the movie's instantly elevated.
Better. Yeah.
Stephen Henderson is in it as well, and he's like definitely one of those like people where you're like, wait, who is that? And then you see him, and you're like, oh my god, he's amazing, like in everything. So basically, what it is it follows these war journalists. But what makes it so unique is that it's here in the United States. And so if anyone follows us on TikTok or anything like that, I talk about how obviously the United States is no stranger to war, but what is so, I think what hits so close to home with this movie is, first of all, it really doesn't hold back. It is brutal. Like, it shows you footage close up of people dying, killing each other, hate, like, everything that war is. But you're seeing it from a journalist perspective, where they are putting their lines on the line, trying to like show the truth of what's out there. And they have absolutely changed the course of how we view war. I think Vietnam War was one of the first ones, like in real time, people were seeing that, and it changed, the United States actually being in it. So what is incredible about this movie is that it's like scary. It's like kind of giving me chills because this could potentially happen. Like, and I feel like a lot of people felt that and have been feeling that, especially like, a few years ago. Set here in the United States, there's a civil war going on. California and Texas are the Western Front that have basically seceded with a bunch of other states that are going against the government, which is very fascist, has basically disassembled everything American that you know. And so you're following this journalist as they're trying to get to the White House to be able to get an interview with the president because he hasn't done any media, or an interview in like almost 2 years. And it's beautifully shot. It does not hold back. There's definitely like jump scares of like sound because like, it'll be like quiet and then all of a sudden it's like boom, like somewhere right there just something. And you're seeing people die and there's like characters that like you fall in love with. And if you're in war and you have PTSD or whatever, I don't know. Like I have never been in that position. It might be really hard for you to watch, like especially in like a public setting. So I will say that, or like if you know anyone that has died in war and stuff like that, like it is that brutal. But I think visceral. I think it is a very important watch.
There's like a map that they put out where it shows like the states are allied with each other. And there's a comment they asked if the movie explains why like Florida, Texas, and California are all together.
It doesn't really explain that. You like learn, like, through like conversations that people are having or like things that like, so Nick Offerman is the president in here in the movie.
Wow.
And so you'll hear him like in the background of like things like either on the radio or like saying some like propagandist type stuff. So you kind of get the idea and then you run into people on both sides of the thing and you quickly find out like who is on what side. Like there's a scene with Jesse Plemons where he's like asking each person like, where are you from? Or like, are you American? Which America? Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, it's like that. So you basically find out, it's like, okay, like, the president and like everyone that supports him has really turned the United States into a very fascist. Like it's like a shell of what America should be. And there's like no democracy left. Journalists are are the enemy and things like that. So a lot of things that we are kind of seeing, or that we always see. I mean, history is a loop. So, it's everything in the fascist handbook.
That realm, yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you think that this movie's more like not fear mongering? Well, I guess because you said it shows everything. Like it's brutal. It's in your face. So like, is it more like? Do you think this movie was made to show like, see people, this is what it can happen. We don't want this. Like, or is it more of like how did you feel about? Because I just don't. To me, when I know somebody that's, very into popular media and news and all that stuff. And all the time, it's just bad negativity. And I feel like this movie, especially with the election coming up and the obvious turmoil that we have, like, was it really a good idea to drop a movie about, hey, guys, look, we can all just kill each other? And it's like, well, or is the movie showing the horrors of it to not do that?
It's showing the horrors, and it's showing what, like, hate and, like, what being, like, anti-democratic and, like, things can do. And, like, when you aren't open to understanding like your neighbor and like trying to like, be able to do that. There's even a line like, and I talk about this like in the immediate reaction that I had. But Kirsten Dunst's character was like, I cover this overseas. Like, I've shown like the brutality of war in all these other places. So I would hope that we would learn from it and it would never come here. Oof. And like, and you can just tell that she's just so like, she's just so.
Can't even believe it's happening. Like
she just is like, just nothing shocks her anymore. Like, you know what I mean? That she
so
just
jaded.
Is like, yeah. And it's just, so I think it is definitely a good reminder of like, just being open and protecting, like, protecting each other and like making sure that we don't go down that fascist route and where it can lead us. So I would hope people would see it as like a warning and not like a blueprint of like, you know what I mean? Right. But obviously, I mean, that's what art is like everyone is going to take what they're going to get. It's exactly like when people are like, oh, why'd they make comic books, political or whatever. It's like, well, they've always been political. You're just having someone tell you right now, like, oh, it's political. And now so it's just, like, instead of like seeing the deeper meaning behind art or whatever, but I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great.
Wow.
So it's streaming in theaters.
Streaming in theaters.
Streaming in theaters. It's playing in theaters. I honestly would probably give it like, an 8.5.